In this video, we're going to introduce surds. Okay, so previous knowledge required for this is, you square your cubes and the roots. Okay, so your squares more than likely are the most, where your squares are the most important here. So know those squares of my house have square number and the square root of the number. Okay, so here's the introduction. Here's a square. It has an area of 40. Find the length of one of its sides. So it's a square, so I know this and this is the same size. So it must have to do the square root of 40. Now, if you're on a calculator paper, you would take this up and you would type in the square root of 40 and you'd get your answer. And most likely, most of us just bypass this and get to our decimal and round the decimal. Now, 6.32. And we haven't given us a unit, but 6.32. Now, in fact, because that's been rounded, it's not the best answer. The best answer was the one that was there at the start, and that is what a surd is. And how do I get root 40 to this is what I'm going to focus on in this topic. Okay, so before I look at this, just let's look at the rules. Well, if I multiply two together, so this could be two numbers, I can separate them. So, for example, if I had the square root of 20, I could separate that into two numbers that give me another square. So maybe the square root of 4, the square root of 5. I could separate those. Likewise, I can separate this. So AB, I can separate into A, separate into B. So here's the example from the previous page. If I want the square root of 40, what I try to do is I try to get a square number that goes into it. Now, a square number that goes into 40 is 4. And then the square number 4 times 10. Now, I know the square root of 4. The square root of 4 is 2 root 10. And that's where that 2 root 10 comes from. So I try to break up 40 into two factors, but I try to make sure that one of them is square. So 2 squares gives me 4. So 4 is the square number. Now, the root of 9 over 25, I can separate into the root of 9 and the root of 25, which I know the root of 9 is 3, and the root of 25 is 5. Okay, so let's look for these examples. Again, very important we spot our square numbers. So I'll just place those square numbers there. Okay, so can I split root 48 into a square number? Now, I know 4 goes in there, but the biggest one that goes in there is 16. So that is root 16, root 3. 16 times 3 is 48. And I know what the squares of 16 is 4. So 4 root 3. And if I was to check that, the root of 48 is 4 root 3. Square root of 90. So I'm looking again for square numbers that go in there. Now, I can see the square root of 9 and the square root of 10. So that's 3 root 10. Sometimes it's a good idea just to check you've got nothing left. So 10, 1, 1 obviously goes into everything, but 4 and 9 doesn't go into 10. So I am complete. Okay, simplifying the following. It helps maybe to put them together. So 30 times 2 is the root of 60. Now go down the list and look for 60. 4 is the only one I spot. So it's going to be root 4, root 15. So 2 root 15. This is root 50. So I see 25 goes in there. Root 25, root 2 is 5 root 2. So you can do these quite quickly. Okay, area, nothing really too much on this. Multiplied and times width. So that's going to be root 20 multiplied by root 10 is root 200. them up here. Can any of these go into 200? And I see that 100 does. So that's going to be root 100, root 2, which is 10 root 2. Same idea for this, but just be careful. A triangle is base times height divided by 2. So the base is root 10 times root 6. I'm going to do this for just right down divided by 2. So that is root 60 divided by 2. Root 60, 4, we've already met that. So that's root 4, root 15 divided by 2, which is 2 root 15 divided by 2. Now the root 50, the 2 on the top and the 2 on the bottom will cancel, giving me root 15. I'm just going to check this on my calc. Sometimes I like to check things myself. So root 6 multiplied by root 6 multiplied by root 10 equals, and then divide that by 2 is equal to that. I'm happy with that. Okay, sometimes you have more things going on here, or what you can do is just multiply your whole numbers. 3 times 5 is 15, and they multiply to give me root 24. Now, do I have a square number in 24? Yes, I do, 4. So just keep that there. Root 4, root 6, 4 times 6 is 24. So that's 15. That goes to 2. And this is all multiplied, so 15 times 2 is 30 root 6. Same again here. 2 times 3 is 6. Root 60, and we've met root 60 a few times already. That's going to be 6 root 4 root 15, which is 6. 6 times 2 is 12 root 15. Okay. For these, I would prefer to forward, I can see these go in. I would prefer to go 200 divided by 5. And 200 divided by 5 is 40. And then we're back to the start. You're looking for a square number to go into 40 is root 4, root 10, 2 root 10. And if I was to try that, I'd get that answer uncertain. Open your fraction, root 200 divided by the root of 5 is 2 root 10. And a few ways I could do this. I could do the same again. Let's do that. Root 42 divided by 72 divided by 4 is 36 is 18. And put the whole answer, put the whole thing down first. That's equal root of 18, which is root 9 root 2. Now you could have done this. You could do the top of these, use a different colour. I can see root 36 and I can see root 2. And then I can see that's 2 at the bottom. Root of 6 is 6. And then if I simplify 6 divided by 2 is 3 root 2. So there's other ways to do these as well. Now I can separate. The reason I do that is because I know this one in my head. And I know this one in my head, so that's going to give me a half. And sometimes separating is the way to go. So 18 and root 50. Now they don't go in nice, so what I'll have to do is top is root 9 root 2 over root 25 root 2, which is 3 root 2 over 5 root 2. Once you have the same on the bottom and the top, they can disappear. And that would give me 3/5, so 0.6. Let's just check. Do this first. Open my root, open my fraction. 18 divided by 50 is equal to 3/5. Okay, there are 8 questions. Have a go. Press pause. The answers will appear in a moment. There's the answers to the top 4. And the bottom 4.